This new weapon is the brand new Funnelweb, and it's arguably a little bit better in some ways. If you don't remember, let's take a step back all the way to the launch of Witch Queen, where everyone was farming for the Funnelweb over and over again. The reason people were farming for Funnelweb is because it was a 900 round per minute Void SMG, and this compared extremely well with Void 3.0. SMGs at the time, and honestly still kind of currently are, were some of the best primary weapons that you could use in the entire game. So for a weapon to compete with that, it's going to have some crazy perks and some very good synergy with Void 3.0. And that weapon is none other than the Ros Arago 4. I think I pronounced that right, but this is a 600 round per minute adaptive frame Void auto rifle. Now, auto rifles have always struggled to be one of the top tier primary options for PvE content. You can obviously make them work in lower tier, but when it gets to higher tier, they start to fall off a lot. Well, over time, auto rifles did get a buff, and they even received another 10% damage buff to red bars with this current season, and they perform honestly pretty well now. If you get a decently rolled auto rifle, it can put in work, and this one is especially one you want to have on your radar. So if we take a look at mine really quick, this is pretty much the god roll in my opinion, but I will talk about another option. But the reason that makes this so good is the fact it does have the new perk Onslaught. So final blows with this weapon increase its rate of fire. So now every single time you get a kill, you will get a stack of Onslaught. This can stack up to 3 times, and you can make this gun fire extremely fast. Just take a listen to it real quick. So yeah, in all honesty, I don't know the exact RPM this is firing at, but it almost seems like it's double, so it can go up to something like 1200 RPM. But just know once you have this revved up at max stacks, it can do some insane damage. The really cool benefit is the fact that Onslaught does not decrease your damage once you get a kill with it. So this just means when you're at max stacks, you're doing a normal 600 round per minute damage, but you are firing it way faster. So that is going to allow you to put out some crazy DPS and just slay through a ton of red bar enemies. Now, the other really cool benefit of this is its origin trait, which is wild card. So final blows with this weapon have a chance to create experimental submunitions at the target's location. So now every single time you get a kill, you can just spawn these experimental munitions that drop to the ground. These will actually do damage to enemies that walk over them. This is just a nice little benefit to have, since this whole weapon is going to be based around slaying red bars all the time. So you can just spawn these experimental munitions, you can lay them down like traps, and your weapon has potential to do even more ad clear. Out of all the origin traits in the game, this is definitely a pretty nice one to have on a primary PvE weapon, and it's actually really doing something for you instead of just giving you some extra handling or anything like that. And then for the final main perk that I think is going to be the best in slot, and that is subsistence. So defeating target partially reloads the magazine from reserves. So since this weapon is going to be eating through ammo since you're firing it so fast, now every kill you get will just add some bullets back to the magazine. This means you can keep that fire rate up as fast as possible, because the moment your onslaught goes down, this thing goes back to shooting very slow. So the more uptime you can have this weapon, the better benefits that you will get overall. Now, I do really want to take a look at its other perks really quick, at least in its first column, because with everything we have here, rewind rounds is an okay option. Subsistence is probably going to be your best option. But the other thing is going to be Repulsor Brace. This could definitely have a play. So even with all the perks we've already went over being extremely good, we haven't even mentioned the fact that it is Void and will be replacing the Funnelweb. Since it is Void, you can now take advantage of volatile rounds from your subclasses, and you can have that insanely fast fire rate while also applying volatile to everyone and single target enemies over and over again. Kind of think of how Retrofit Escapade works, but just in a primary weapon. And being the fact that you are killing volatile enemies, you can use Repulsor Brace to get an overshield and you kill those Void debuff targets. Now this will apply to things like Weaken as well, but you're mainly going to be running this for volatile. So it's really up to you if you want something like an overshield. If you build into some very fast reload speed, I could definitely see taking Repulsor Brace as a play to get an overshield while also having a very fast reload speed to keep onslaught up. But if you don't have a fast reload speed, taking subsistence is going to be extremely nice, just so you can easily keep that onslaught up. But if you are only going to be using this for Void and you do get that reload speed roll, I think this could be a great option to apply those overshields. It's honestly up to you on however you want to build this. Either way, it is still going to slay out extremely well, and it is just a ton of fun to use. Now, unfortunately, the only way you can really get this right now is through world drops, but in all honesty, it does seem that world drops are dropping a lot more often now. I've already gotten at least like 10 of these since the start of the season, but when next season rolls around, and I know it's a very long way from when this video is posted, this should be in the Lost Sector loot pool on a rotation, so you can go farm Lost Sectors for it there. But unfortunately, again, that's a pretty long ways away, and you kind of just have to hope you get one right now. And I'm sure Gunsmith can also sell it. But that is the Ros Arago 4, what I think is the brand new Funnelweb. I think it is slightly better than the Funnelweb, but even in the fun factor. And if you do love Void builds, it is definitely something I would recommend getting your hands on. So So whenever you see one of these auto rifles drop, don't instantly dismantle them. Be sure to check the rolls on them, because you could have a got roll sitting there and you don't even know it. Anyways, though, that's going to do it all for me. Let me know what y'all think about this auto rifle in the comments below. Have you given it a shot? Have you even gotten one to drop in the first place? I would love to hear from you all, and as always, thank you all so much for all the continued support on the channel. I know I teased this weapon in my Void Walker Perfected build, and I hope it lived up to the hype for you all. I wish you all the best of luck on getting one of these to drop, but thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day. Peace.